r/antiwork. International Call 76 says, "We are familyyy." Included photo. Superfee says, "When you hear anything about family at work, even Dom Toretto runs the other way." Ancient_pop 1712 says, "A family that eats for free, that is." Outpost Bucky says, "Union or not, that deer is in trouble, run. Deer." Jeff the Garden Hose 1 says, "I hate it when companies say crap, like we are family here. You are replaceable." Minson21 says, "This is hilarious, I have to steal this one." Living_Edgerly says, "Shit, I got some of them Wingerton rights." Headshot Demon says, "Very fitting, because the antelope in this picture died from stress like a day later." r/antiwork. JPEG Tooth Ahead says, "Finland issues fine in proportion to income." Included photo. X-Monk says, "As someone in Vancouver, the land of drag racing licks uses with NS, new driver, on their back windshield. Gosh, this makes me jealous." Cuddlefish 2063 says, "Punishable by fine means legal for rich people." Sprawl Winnow says, "I'm from the same place as a guy. For a millionaire, he's a pretty okay guy. Celebrates his birthday every year by hosting a big concert that everyone can get free tickets to. Likes to cruise around in expensive cars, collect art and drunkenly walk his dogs. But does try to give something back to the community in his old age. He has gotten speeding tickets before, I think around 60k the first time and 90k the other. This is the first time he's made international news though, so until I mentioned it to a friend, where I live now, I had no clue Finland is one of very few places that does issue fines in proportion to income. Literally no other system makes sense." Jim Bob Dwayne says, "This is what should 100% be done in every civilized countries. Traffic and municipal fines massively burdensome on low-income populations and they are heavily targeted with over-enforcement." Democrat for Life says, "Until they have a lawyer find a legal loophole where their wealth is tied to the business/estate and on paper there's no income." r/antiwork. Existential Idiot 83 says, "Not cool." Included photo. Victor_despite says, "We need UB." Why is it glowing says, "UB doesn't solve the problem of rent-seeking behavior. They'll just jack up the rent by that amount. Without social provision of essentials like housing, education and healthcare, it solves nothing, only shovels more money from the public purse towards the people, who are the problem, just slightly more indirectly." Organic Policy 845 says, "Under capitalism something that really should liberate the population, technology, instead seems to in some ways make our life worse. This system turns the average man into a Luddite." Mildman Eruditus says, "Sadly it is way more efficient than half. There have been 100x improvements, and yet people still find work for folks to do." Funky Monk says, "I worked at one of the top aerospace companies and shortly after they were bought by Berkshire Hathaway, the department was split in two because of newer machines. Promotions to the newer division were stalled. Temps were hired on after 90 days. It used to take at least a year. Then all the senior operators with pensions were laid off." Cirrus62 says, "And you'll be working twice the amount of hours to keep up." r/antiwork. Universe_Zen says, "A pretty big wheel down at State Farm." Included photo. Irish Tomboy 84 says, your kids might hate you for never being around, but the boss calls you by a name phonetically close to your real name when he speaks to you, so worth it. Scotty_puff_jr says, getting that generic gas station thank you card with a bite-sized Snickers taped to the inside when your team had been expecting a bonus is worth missing a couple childhood milestones emo. Old Individual 8035 says, Christ, remember the guy who refused to use his meal per diem and instead made boiled chicken in his motel room's coffee carafe? LinkedIn grins at guys genuinely might be the biggest freaks in all of social media. Whole Wishbone 7539 says, they are without a doubt the guys that keeps cat porn viable. Alien Superstar _ says, wasn't the chicken guy a satire account? Holmes02 says, you two can bully staff under you for your failures at life, so you can feel accomplished. __ says, funnily enough I work at State Farm and get lots of time off that I'm encouraged to take. Jagetti Boom says, this is true. Most of these hustle brothers and diamond hand individuals pull in like 40 to K per year. Literally like average pay. There are millions of people out there like working 3 part-time jobs with no overtime pay and investing like $50 a week into Dogecoin or whatever the internet tells them to, and driving around in cars with an $800 a month payment that they are upside down on. I feel bad for all these young people somehow getting approved for these 250k houses that 2 years ago were selling for 120k. They are getting ready to lose them when student loan payments kick back in. Onward Toward the North says, sacrifice your life and you can be like Jake at State Farm. Smitapa says, State Farm better not frick me on roof claim. They used to be the top home insurance company, but I'll drop them if they don't pay. It's now time for an unpaid shoutout. Looking for a true gamer's paradise? Check out Gamerama's channel. With over 300 plus video game systems, 7,000 plus physical games, and more, she's got an impressive collection to share. Follow her collecting journey to see her real-time pickups and learn some insider tips on scoring great deals, whether you're a fellow collector or just love gaming history. You won't want to miss out on this nostalgic adventure. Link in the description. r/antiwork. Muniguni says, payment for work. That's socialism. Included photo. Snug Dividend says, daily reminder that labor theft by employers is 6 times the monetary value of conventional theft and burglary theft. Yet the police reserve violent response to the petty criminals. Who benefits most from this arrangement? Maximum_Doberstein says, you should be honored to work here. If you want money, get a Joe. Hang on, we need to come up with a new phrase to belittle you with. Satisfaction Foon 69 says, I don't know who this John Steingart is, or if they are even a real person, but I wish them foot fungus. Backletter says, classic Bloomberg News. The news service run by the guy who bought his way into an election just to wreck the guy trying to get us some healthcare. Eureka Rancher 455 says, the Emancipation Proclamation added so much to Southern labor costs it wrecked the Southern economy. Something to think about. King Keratrol says, I don't understand how someone could write something so antisocial and evil and then just post it like it's fine. Agent_Smith_3012 says, no, it won't add anything to labor costs. It is labor cost. Sakurfawn Warabut says, how the frick do these people sleep at night? r/antiwork. Worm98 says, should people with difficulties be paid less? Included photo. Isenau says, think of all the jobs we could eliminate if we abandoned the profit motive in favor of human thriving. Flunkies, goons, duct tapers, box tickers, and taskmasters. We could free up a good percentage of our workforce. If people weren't employed in these jobs, they could do something actually productive, and we would all have to work less. And if a disabled person wants to work, I wouldn't stand in their way. OK_assumption 5734 says, sure, but this has been posted multiple times. The general reasoning for this is that many of the people with disabilities are going to work as glorified dakers because of their limited ability to do the job. It's more about fulfillment than income, since there's a cap to how much you can earn while qualifying for SD anyways. Agree that if you can do the job, then you deserve equal pay though. Les_Utabago 2316 says, alternate phrasing isn't really even necessary. That's frick, Ed regardless. Brandon Unusual says, this isn't even the worst of it. My sister is disabled and has mental handicaps. She's basically stuck with a 13-year-old's mentality, even though she's in her 30s now. She has some fine motor skill issues and is overall sort of clumsy. But she is able to get social security. Problem is, even a simple part-time job earning minimum wage would prevent her from continuing to collect SS. So she can't work a simple job, even if she wants to, meaning she's stuck on what she gets from SS and can't augment it with even a minimum wage job. L31Phi says, I agree with the exploitation statement. It has been done and that is what the laws are there for. They already proved they can't be trusted. Shadow 13499 says, frick corporations man, that's all I have to say. Krumksk says, personally I think this is a question of does this person actually meet the needs of the job? If this is yes, why pay them different than everyone else? It's a job. If they do it to the level where they should stay employed, they should be paid without discrimination. If they can't meet that requirement, then you basically get a couple situations. First is they won't be employed for the job. It's simple as that. Why pay for someone who cannot do what they are being employed for? The other option is probably more of a government collaboration type of program, where maybe they have these individuals employed with a reduced scope, and the government maybe pays for some of it to get these people to minimum wage. You have to consider unemployed individuals with disabilities, depending on where you live, get support from the government already, and it's proposed better for these individuals to be working and getting similar support than not working and still getting support. Of course, this argument only makes sense if there is government support in the first place. If it isn't, this seems like a hard thing to start from filling in the gap, and most employers will go to option 1 of hiring people who can do the job they expect, and those who can't get shafted. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.